Hey guys, my name is Abraxas, and today I want to talk about Doomfist. Doomfist is a hero with a carry potential, but if he's played incorrectly, he can just end up feeding, which most of us do a lot of the time. So, yeah, I want to talk about the thought process that goes into playing Doomfist, and I want to talk about some rollouts that you can do to make sure that you are maximizing the output of your damage and you are making use of your character, right? He's kind of hard to play in today's meta, so that's why you got to be really sneaky. Because you can end up CC'd to death, you can get hacked, you can get like stunned, slept, you can get frozen, and so on and so on. Okay, so what we want to do, like I said, we want to be sneaky, so we're going to be using some rollouts to get to certain places that we want to flank. None of these rollouts are mine. I mean, I didn't like invent them. I've seen them in other videos, but the reason why I'm doing this guide is because they don't really explain what they're doing there, like the mechanics of certain rollouts and what happens when you press certain buttons. So I'm here to show you that. Okay, so in case you're a complete beginner with Doomfist, which is fine, of course, let me just show you a few mechanics that you need to learn. The first one is Rocket Punch. So once you charge your Rocket Punch and release your button, your Alt Fire, right click on PC, you go this far. You can go further if you Rocket Punch and then you press space at the end of your animation. See how much further I went? I basically jumped in mid-air. So this is a lot of distance, like 10 meters or so that you can get extra from your punch. Another thing I want to mention is like his jump that you can get. If you press space at the end of your jump in front of an object, which is basically shorter than Doomfist, like shoulder height or something like that, or if it's not straight up like this lamp, you can get a low bounce, which can help us get to certain places. Okay, so if I want to bounce off of this payload, I'm gonna right click and then I'm gonna bounce as soon as I am close to the payload. But this isn't really consistent, and there's a better, easier way to do this, because you're never sure how far you're gonna bounce or where you're gonna go. See, like this. So if you just hold your space button and you just tap your right click or your Alt Fire, your punch, you're gonna bounce. See? And this happens every time if you're at the right distance. So if I want to go up there, I can just hold space, punch, and there we go. Okay? So the distance is, I think, about maybe like 7 meters or so. If you're too far, you're just gonna end up on the cart. If you're too close, you're just gonna punch it. Nothing's gonna happen. So you gotta practice the distance, but once you get it, it's really, really the easiest thing you can do in the game. Okay, boom. There we go. Okay, now when it comes to Doomfist combos, the two most common ones that you want to be using most of the time is either you engage with slam, then you uppercut, shoot, and you punch out, or you can punch in, shoot, uppercut, and you can slam away. Usually, if we are on high ground, we want to use the slam, and then we shoot, then we go away, right? If the enemy is standing in front of the wall, of course, then we can possibly one-shot him or get him close to dying. So we want to punch him, maybe shoot, uppercut, and bounce away or slam away. Okay, so why do we want to use his bounce and why is it valuable? Because his punch has a 4-second cooldown, and his uppercut and his slam, they have both 6-second cooldowns. And cooldown management is the most important thing about Doomfist, because if you overcommit, let's say you go in with a punch and then you slam or uppercut and whatever, if you're without any cooldowns, you're just gonna die, because you have no ways of escape. You can't kill enemies only with your primary fire, your left click. So yeah, you gotta find ways to be creative. Also, you never know if the enemies are going to jump you, right? So you can basically go here with like uppercut and slam, but then you have used both of your 6-second cooldowns and you only have your punch. And if you don't confirm the kill, you're going to be dead, right? So you want to save some of those at least, so you can use 1 4-second cooldown, which is the punch, and you can use the slam. And you're going to end up with your uppercut, which is 50 damage, can help you finish off a squishy. Okay, so basically, if I go here, boom, boom, there we go, right? Really easy. Also, when you use your uppercut, you're like kind of stuck in the air, you're floating, so it's easy for like a Widowmaker to headshot you. So yeah, bouncing is keeping you in motion, and you're harder to hit, basically. Mess that up here, but yeah, that's okay. Okay, so now that we have covered that, let's go to attack, to the attacker spawn. I usually go out on the right side because if you go mid, you can get spammed by Junkrat, by Moira's Orb, Hanzo can one-shot you, Widow, and so on. So if you go right, first of all, you can scout, you can see if there's anybody like camping you and so on. And you have 2 options, actually 3, but so you have option A, go left, option B, go right, or you have option C, which isn't really great. That's like main choke, and from here Doomfist can't really do anything, especially if there's like a bunker here with Orisa, with Hog, you can get hooked. You don't have enough damage with your primary fire. If you punch in, like, you can die, you can't escape. If you slam, still same story, right? So you gotta be a bit creative. So option A would be to go here. You can land on this bastion using your uppercut. You can wait for your cooldown to go down, your uppercut. Go up, you can bounce off of this, and you can slam here. So this one isn't that great because usually the enemies are going to set up here. This is a great defensive spot because they can not only use the barriers, they can use the natural cover here and this car here, right? So they're most of the time they're going to be standing here. Although sometimes there might be a Widowmaker here trying to frag, you know, get an off angle, get a hit, and she can easily like disengage using her like grapple hook. So if there's an enemy there, you can use the rollout A over the house, slam them, and you're going to finish here. So you have used all of your cooldowns to get there. Okay, let's go again. So boom, boom, that's 3 cooldowns. Uppercut, punch, slam. Now, even if you finish off the squishy, hopefully, you have no cooldowns. So the most important thing about Doomfist is patience, because you don't want to end up feeding. You want to survive for as long as you can because you have a lot of carry potential if you're playing smart, right? So you have 2 options. Okay, but maybe some of the enemies will start retreating. They're looking for an angle. You got to avoid that. And now you can either choose to go back to your team if your team is not pushing, if they're still standing in choke, or you can choose to flank. Now our rollout comes in place. We can just bounce off of this and we can go back behind them. Now the enemies know you're here. Doomfist is a really loud character. So what they're going to do, they're going to split their attention. Not everybody is going to be shooting at the tanks. Let's say you have a Reinhardt there or whoever is trying to push. Some of them are going to start shooting at you, and your team has the opportunity to move in because they're receiving less damage. They might even commit some of their cooldowns to try and kill you, or maybe to disengage and escape towards the point. Now from here, you don't want to do this, right? Because you're just gonna die. You're going in a straight line. You don't want to do this as well, still straight line. So if we are in this position here and we don't kill anything, of course, we can just move back. Once again, your presence is enough for the enemies to start feeling nervous. They know you can engage them, and you can just be patient, wait for your team to engage. Or if somebody is like overextending, like they're split from their team, that's an easy kill for you. Okay, another thing I would like to mention is that you can cancel the animation of your uppercut. So normally what would happen is this, like you slam, you uppercut, you shoot, you go back. And that's fine, that works. But you can maximize the damage output if you hold your left click after you slam and then use your uppercut. So what happens is this, like slam, boom, boom, boom. Okay, I messed that up, I'm sorry. So what happens is like this. See, I didn't use, I used my uppercut, but there was no animation for it. So you get the knock up, actually, you get the 50 damage, but you keep shooting all that time. See? Boom, boom, boom. That was like 2 bullets instead of like doing this and then 1. You did this. Right? So you can finish off a squishy much easier and much faster. Okay, so you're in this position, you jump somebody, you shoot him, boom, fall back, rinse and repeat. That should be enough. Another rollout that you can do is the one over here. So if you go from the spawn, okay, you can use your punch to avoid this little hole here, this door, because there might be a widow waiting for somebody to pick on them, right? So you can jump over here, and here, what you can do is that you can bounce and slide off of this roof and go back straight into the bunker. Now, this is risky, but if you communicate with your team, if you're running like a dive comp or something, this can be really beneficial. So what you got to do is you got to use your uppercut, and then you need to bounce off of this roof, and then you're going to slam onto the enemies far behind. Basically, you're going to be slamming over there. Okay, so let's do this. This, boom, and now you can slam, boom, right? 125, shoot twice, you can kill somebody, kill squishy. So there's one thing I would like to mention about this, is that basically if you charge your punch and then release it, maybe you won't get, see, sometimes you don't get enough height and you're just gonna slide back down. So that's why I suggest that you use like the tap. You use your uppercut, then you hold space, and then you just tap your right click. It's gonna give you a bigger bounce. Once more. See? There we are. And then you can, okay. This happens as well sometimes. It's a bit risky. Yeah. But that's okay. You can choose to go behind as well. But yeah, this is with a bad uppercut. Okay, so go, bounce, when you're here, slam, boom, 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 move on, and that's it. Okay, so that's rollout number 1, number 2, or A, B, however you want to call them. Once you have finished the fight on the payload, or on the objective, unless you're the only one standing, you don't want to be the one who's capping the point, because the enemies will start regrouping and they're going to start taking the high ground. And you only have these small little chokes. You have 2 exits there, one here, or you have one from above, right? But if there's a widow, she can like one-shot you while you're going up. So this isn't really a great option for you. So you want to be proactive. As soon as you have won the fight, you want to push in. You want to take the high ground, right? So you can do this, like you can go here, 1 cooldown, 2, 3, and you gotta wait, right? And you can go here, and so on. Or you can use a bounce, and you can do it in 2 cooldowns, and you can do it much faster if you bounce off of this piece of junk right here, right? So here you want to charge your fist and you want to jump and release when you're mid-air. Okay, like this. Boom. Okay, and then once you get a bounce, you can use your uppercut to get there. Okay, so okay, like this. I messed up that. Okay. So let's go once more. Boom, boom, and there we are. Okay, I needed to use my 3rd cooldown here, but it's possible, you just gotta practice. Okay, I don't use this rollout that much, but it can be useful, especially if somebody is like holding here, or if they're holding there, you can just be sneaky and come behind them. Okay, so another thing, if you want to engage Here, you should never punch because there's this little piece of trash here. I think it's a bastion or something, right? So you're gonna hit it. You can't engage with your uppercut because they're too far away. You want to slam. If you slam from here, you can go up, you can deal 50 damage, but if you're too far here, you're just gonna slide off, which isn't that great. It's a wasted cooldown. So ideally, you want to jump in a little bit, and then you gotta slam. After that, you follow it up with an uppercut, you shoot it, and a squishy is dead. If, for some reason, there's a tank over here, you can do the same thing, but after the uppercut, you can just boop them down into your team, and they're gonna be dead. That's it. Even though you're not the one who's finishing off the kill, yeah, they're dead. You made space, you killed off a key target. So that's awesome. Okay, so once you have taken the high ground, maybe the enemy snipers, they'll start like piling up here, you know, Widows, Hanzo's, Ashe, they like taking this high ground because it's good for them. They have line of sights. So instead of going here and getting headshot and killed, you can play around these corners, right? And you can use your slam here, combined with your combo, of course. Even if you get hit, there's a mini here. Okay, so after you finish the kill, you can heal up. So, okay, once more from here, you can jump, boom, 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 and that's it. You survived. You have taken the high ground successfully. Here, there might be some tanks and so on, holding somewhere here, of course. This is pretty easy, boom, boom, boom. Fall back to your team. If they're here behind, you can actually, if you like do this, then you go up, you can go back to the high ground, and yeah, that's basically a standard combo. Another thing is like if somebody is retreating on the bridge, you can like jump him from here, you can even boop him into the wall, kill him, or if you jump from here, you can, if they're close to the edge, you can uppercut them into their death. So that works as well. Another place, so once your team have pushed, you want to take this high ground here. This one is better than the one on the other side because this is simply higher. Also, if there's a Widow here, you can pressure her. You can't really slam from here. I mean, you can, but you gotta be really precise, and it's not really worth it. You don't have any business being here anyways. I mean, in this window. You can't jump and slam. Okay, apparently you can, but yeah, so basically, you can't stand and slam. That's what I wanted to say. What you want to do is like you want to walk into it and then slam. Okay, it's gonna be 30. There's not enough damage, and it's quite risky because the enemies might be there. They can shoot you down, but you can contest the Widow if she's here. You can even try and punch her. Just be careful. You don't want to end up there and die. Also, from here, when the enemies are coming out of spawn, we can do a couple of things, like we can slam here, boom, 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 kill him. Although, I recommend not using the direct slam because you see that's like 30, maybe 40 damage. You can slide off of the wall and get more, 130, right? You can also slam, if you want to slam somebody here, you can slide here, boom, 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 120. Much better. Okay. So, of course, if there's somebody here, you can... I wouldn't go for the boop, necessarily, because they can end up there, they can survive. Like, maybe, you know, best case scenario, you can boop them into your team. I mean, of course, if they don't fall down. But you have this little edge here, this little wall, so when you drop down, you can just punch any squishy into their death. Should be more than enough. Okay, so there's one cool place here from where you can ult. It's this. Boom, 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 and we're back on the high ground. You're behind, you're attacking them. Of course, that's if you don't want to use your ult aggressively. If you are low on cooldowns, low on health, and so on, you can communicate with your team and say, like, hey, Ana, heal me, I'm going to be on top of the castle. And there's also another one which I like, and it's this tree over here. Because nobody's going to really expect you to ult on the tree. Okay, so you end up on high ground again. And so on. I mean, it's just so, like, so people are not looking at you. They're going to hear a meteor strike, but they're gonna assume, okay, so he's not close, he retreated or what, you know, like he's behind, I don't know, because they're not gonna see the indicator up there while they're fighting. They're gonna be busy. Okay, so once you have taken the second part of this map, this area here is the worst for Doomfist. You don't really want to be fighting here because it's too open. There's like a sniper can stand there. Like you don't have any like places where you can like engage and disengage easily. So what you want to do here, you want to flank and you want to apply pressure from behind. Okay, so once you go to this room here, there's a mini, which is great. If you get some poke damage, you can heal up. Also, there might be like a healer here or a damage dealer. You can do this, and then you can disengage back into your team, or you can disengage back into your little mini room. Ultimately, you can basically bait somebody into coming in, and then you can punch him, which is an easy kill for you. Then you can just move on. If you get a lot of damage, I mean, if you take a lot of damage, there's a mega here, which is awesome. You can be a bit sneaky, also apply pressure here, kill somebody, you know, escape back to your team, so on. Also, snipers like to be here as well, so you can be sneaky if they don't know you're coming from back. You can basically combo them and kill any damage dealer who's standing here. There's, okay, so there might be somebody there. You can engage them in a punch, or you can also just slam into them. Just try not to punch them into the mini because they might survive and kill you. If you need to ult to escape or to survive, you can ult on these chandeliers, preferably on this one here, because it's going to be behind your enemies. They're not going to be able to shoot you. Also, the chandelier blocks some of the damage, and you can communicate with your healers. I'm going to be here, boom, you end up here. From here you can slam them, boom, 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 and you can escape. So that would be all for Doomfist on attack on Eichenwalde. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to do a part 2, which is going to be Doomfist on defense. There's going to be some more tips. And thank you for watching. If you like this video, then please leave a like and subscribe. That helps me a lot and also shows me that you're interested in my content and that I'm going to make more. Of course, feel free to comment, leave any suggestions, you know, engage in a conversation. Okay, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Yeah, say bye, Doomfist. Bye. Okay, bye-bye.